Hey, I'm Jason with Visno Media, and I am super thrilled to be spending some time with Leslie from Pro Plant Care. Did I get that right?
Yes.
I'm sure I did. Okay. And yeah, so we had a bit of an introduction at a trade show probably about 3 months ago. And you actually put some plans up for us. And we got to talking, and I realized that you studied in marketing and stuff, right? That was kind of your degree back when you were part of
Yeah.
university or at college. And
Yeah.
so, and now she's a business owner after spending some time in some other work. I'm not sure what that work was, but then you kind of started a side job. That's my understanding, if I remember correctly. And I just remember that it was a lot of fun meeting with you. And now starting the podcast, I'm like, oh, this is a person I need to talk to because she certainly has a lot of experience in the business world. So, Leslie, why don't we dive into a little bit of who you are, where you got started, and how Pro Plant Care came to be?
Okay. Well, as you mentioned, I did get a Bachelor of Commerce degree at Dalhousie University, and I majored in human resources with a minor in marketing. And I always had in the back of my head I'd love to be an entrepreneur. Moved to Lethbridge, walked into a big hotel and said, hey, I'd love to be your human resources manager. They didn't have one. They made me a position. And so then I got to use my degree with human resources. But after about 3 or 4 years on the side, I got interested in plants. My sister knew a chiropractor, and basically, boom, Pro Plant Care was born. So I grew it on the side. So I didn't quit my job, throw all my life investments into it. So I basically started hiring people right off the bat so that I could have a career, grow, pun intended, Plant Care on the side.
Yeah.
And then after a few years, I just got so busy where I just had to quit my day job and run Pro Plant Care. So so that was 30 years ago.
30 years
that
ago.
I started Pro Plant Care. Yeah.
That's intriguing. Like, I'm doing it as a side job. So we were just before actually I hit the record button, we were talking about overthinking. And it sounds like you didn't spend a lot of time overthinking things. Like for me, the thing is I tend to spend so much time overthinking. And then after all that time, I've wasted time on stuff that didn't matter. And so that's what I've really been trying to work on. It's like, I need to focus on the things that move the needle, right? So
you know what? I can't say that I didn't overthink.
Oh.
I thought I had to have the perfect business card. I thought I had to have the perfect website. I thought I had all this stuff. And if I had just dove in and started doing it, I'd have been a lot further trajectory-wise. So, sometimes we can get labored down. Like, I mean, basically a website is, in most senses, it's just a pamphlet.
Yeah.
So,
a glorified pamphlet, yeah.
Yes. So just get the essence across and not be making it feel like it's life or death if you don't get it right. Because you will be, I'm probably on my 10th, 11th website. So it's always evolving, and you're always going to want to change it. So
yeah, for sure. And with time, you kind of need to evolve it with the times as they go on, right? But yeah, that's one thing I was exactly trying not to focus on. I don't need a website right now. I need to make sure that I talk to people, right? The face to face, right? And that's kind of how I started, and so that. I think most of us tend to struggle with that. But, okay, so then you were saying that you hired somebody pretty much right away. Now, that's a very interesting first move. Tell me a little bit more about the model of your business, like what exactly you do.
We install and take care of live tropical plants in commercial buildings. So malls, banks, hotels, restaurants, office buildings. And then we have larger clients like larger malls or larger hotels where they own the plants. We go in and take care of them. So it's all on contract basis, and we provide the care and whatnot. So the majority of our clients, though, we own the plants. We take care of them. If there's an issue with the plant, we yank it and install a new one. So that's the rental maintenance side.
Oh, okay.
Does that sort of help? We also have the moss side, which is preserved moss. We build these structures, hang them on walls, or sell them to clients. They help them hang them on walls. And we have the live cabinets for living walls where it's all tropical plants and they're irrigated and whatnot. So
that does help, because what I was kind of going for is if you hired somebody right off the bat, there's kind of two things that I want to consider here, is because many small businesses, they have recurring customers, right? But they don't necessarily come in every month, maybe not even every 2 or 3 months. Whereas for you in that case, you kind of have now two sides of it. You have the living moss walls, which that sounds more like, the moss walls, which sound more like...
so basically a product.
Basically a product, and you're not servicing. Whereas the other side is recurring constantly. Hey, you can recharge so you can pay your employee even in the first little bit when starting the business.
Yes, exactly. So I never had to borrow money or anything. It was just always the company maintained and covered all costs. So, the recurring revenue my situation is ideal, or any other business that has a recurring revenue is you're not searching for new. Well, I mean, you are searching for new clients, but it sort of maintains itself.
Yeah, absolutely. And so now, how did you get started with sales? Now, obviously, you have to have a first couple of sales so you have anything to work with. How did you go about that, and how has that changed throughout the time?
Well, I had a few small clients. I put my name in the phone book. Lethbridge is pretty small. I mean, there was when I started 30 years ago, Calgary had 2 pages of interior plantscapers.
Wow.
In Lethbridge, I was the only one.
That kind of helps out for sure.
Right. I shouldn't say that. There was another lady, and the larger malls kept asking me to quote on their services because they wanted to change their interior landscaper that they currently had hired. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to hire more people. How can I do this? And meanwhile, I'm still working, right? So I still have but we made it work. I was able to, I worked off hours, did training for the staff that I hired, for the contracts and whatnot. And it just blew up right away.
Really?
Because once I got those large contracts, it was like, oh my goodness. So then, it basically grew at a nice steady rate where I could grow the business, have my other part-time job. And basically I got rid of my other part-time job, career. And then Pro Plant Care was enough for me and now 5 other people. So
wow, that's incredible. And so it sounds like the recurring revenue is pretty huge in what you're doing. So you're just kind of talking about the sales that just came in, right? Mm-hmm. And it's not like you have to have a whole lot for your business to be able to sustain. You don't have to have a ton of clients for you to be able to sustain 5 employees. Whereas many other businesses, I'm just comparing it because I'm not so used to the service,
we have tons of clients. Mm-hmm. I mean, and and my staff are all part-time. I really base it on quality of life.
Oh,
so
I see.
If they only want to work 6 hours a week, then they can work 6 hours a week type thing. So, So, I mean, we have Lethbridge, we've got Tabor and Medicine Hat, but we have larger clients there. So, my business is like a mom and pop business. So it's not,
Yeah. No, sorry. I guess what I was kind of going for is the, wow. I just completely blanked there. Oh, well, that makes more sense with that aspect. I didn't realize that, but I guess now I remember what I was going to say. It's not like you have to have a constant stream of new customers coming in because you're reservicing the past customer.
Right.
And I always say that obviously for small businesses, by far the best customers are the ones that come back because they're the cheapest to acquire because you've already acquired them and you've already built trust with them. You don't have to do it again. And so that's certainly a thing I'm really glad that it works like that for your business. Now, if I can dig a little bit deeper, what do you do as far as getting the clients? Where do they find you? Is it just word of mouth? Is it Google? Is it ads? Is it what do you do?
I would say it's a little of both. Being in Lethbridge for 30 years now, I know quite a few people, and if somebody is looking for our services, typically somebody knows, okay, go call Leslie at ProPlan Care. So we got a lovely contract here a few weeks ago, and it was somebody just posted in Facebook, hey, I need somebody to look after my plants. And they said, oh, have you called Leslie at ProPlan Care? And so then there I was. And so now we have that. So it's kind of word of mouth, which is great because I love our clients. Mm-hmm. I love our team. My team is phenomenal. So even they say, hey, you work for ProPlan Care. Would they be interested in this? So it's so great.
That's awesome. No, that sounds like the ideal situation because obviously with word of mouth comes a certain amount of trust that's already there. Because, hey, if a friend of mine recommends somebody else, I'm going to certainly trust that person that they recommended a lot more than anybody I'm just finding on Google, right?
Yeah.
So, no, that's brilliant. That's really good. Now, as far as nurturing your current customers, you don't need to do that much besides just providing good service, I'm sure, right?
Right. We need to provide good service. We need to have healthy, happy plants. And yeah, as long as we do that, then we keep the clients forever and ever.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. So essentially one customer has a huge lifetime value for you, which is awesome. Yeah. So that's, I'm just looking at my list of things here. So generally I look at the lead nurture, the lead generation, the nurture, and then there's the sales and delivery, and then the retention or upsell and things of that nature. So if we were to look at the sales, like I always like to see how other people sell. If you go up to a new customer, like yours, or a new potential customer, as you're saying, in many cases referred. So you probably don't have to sell very much. It's probably a very easy conversation. But do you have a bit of a structure the way you approach it?
Well, I like to meet face to face because my customers always become my friends. I love my client family. Because a lot of people don't understand the concept, like, oh, you rent plants, and oh, someone comes in and looks after them, and oh, so it's like, it's not like a lot of other businesses where people understand an apple is an apple is an apple. This industry is kind of like, explain this. How does this work? So it's a lot of that. It's like, I can come in, I can install all the plants, we can look after them on a weekly basis. If there's an issue with the plant, I yank it at my cost. Your monthly fee doesn't change. Okay. On one hand, I could count how many clients who said, no, we'll buy all the plants, we'll buy all the containers. You just can't come in on a monthly basis and look after them, because for a simple tree that's 6 feet tall, we're running $500 now just to buy it. So nobody wants to spend several $1,000s on all these plants. So with my service, we guarantee our service and our plants. So if there's an issue, it's my cost, it's not their cost. Okay. So once I explain all that to them, then they understand the value, and basically it's a done deal.
There we go. Simple as that. So, but you their
budget. So if typically people just want to have plants where it's high visibility, or for their staff, or boardrooms, or what have you. So we just work out the budget that they have, and then we give them what they want. So
yeah, that's awesome. And so you're saying that shows them the value. Mm-hmm. And so that's obviously a super important thing to show the value. And you probably don't put a huge price tag on it and mention that the first thing before presenting value, because then people tend to dismiss it right away, right? Mm-hmm. And obviously you're saying you work with a budget, so even better. Now, let's see here. What other specific question about sales Okay, we got that. So delivery, and the delivery of service, that's fairly straightforward. You say you have 5 employees and you're able to service your customers. It's, I'm guessing, kind of quite a lot of driving for you guys. But how do you keep your employees happy?
Well, like I had mentioned, I love to have work and home life work for them. So they basically get to pick when they work and how long they want to work. And once we have negotiated and figured out that based on their route and what area of town and that kind of thing, then that's just reoccurring. They know exactly where they're going every week. They know exactly how long it's going to take them. I mean, not down to the minute. I mean, you might just water in a client and take a half an hour, and then the next time you go, you're going to clean 2 or 3 plants, or decide to prune, or do you decide to transplant. So the time that they're there may change, but basically they have a great idea as to how long they work. So if it's a mother who has kids coming home at 3 o'clock, we make sure that that's going to happen. Or if it's somebody who has 2 or 3 part-time jobs and they can only work certain days. So yeah, that's how I make sure my team is happy so that they stay with me forever.
There we go. There we go. Easy, simple equation there. No, nothing hard. Yeah. That's really good. And so do you find that, obviously they can probably kind of choose when they're going, right? Like it's not like they're on a strict schedule in your case.
Yeah.
Other
they
than
just
like
have
you
to
have
go
to do
through business hours, basically.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Now that's fantastic. Another kind of unique thing about your business. In many cases, like you're here from 8 to 5, right? Like, or before that till we close.
And I know a lot of interior plantscapers in Calgary who do. You have to come at 8 o'clock. You leave at 4 o'clock. I've never wanted to run my business that way. I try and find the best person with as much skill with plants as possible, and then have the job work around what they can do. Because why not be flexible if you have a good person? If my team is happy, my clients will be happy.
Right, for sure. So now if you were to, obviously, God forbid you'd ever have to do this, but if you were to restart and build another business, what are a couple of things that you would be like, okay, this is what I'd focus on. This is what I'd need to do first to make sure we get going. I didn't mention I was going to ask this question, so take your time.
Well, I don't really know what I would do differently. I mean, if I was going to start from scratch, I need to again get clients. I would be I still am the technician. So every new client we get, I look after for the first 2 to 3 months because the plants have to acclimate. Sometimes clients want to move plants around, and then that means we might have to change the variety of plant because some plants are highlights, some plants are lowlights. So I sort of do that transition, and then I can train the new person as to, this plant typically needs this many cups of water or whatnot. So I would probably be just doing it the same way. I'd be the technician first, get some clients so that I can get income, and then start hiring people to fill that slot so that I can go and get more, because that seems to have what worked. So,
and then so when you're saying get clients, so what methods would you use? Would you go door to door knocking on the business like that way, or would you? Let's say you came to a new city, and I'm just making more and more difficult for you, Leslie.
Yeah.
So say you didn't know anybody.
Yeah. See, I would be scared to death. I don't know. I mean, I never had to go door to door, so I don't know. I am not overly. I'm shy, so people sometimes don't say I am, but I am. I would have to. Maybe now that I'm older, I might be a little bit more braver to go and knock on the door and say, "Hey, would you like our services?" Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I might flounder and die.
Oh, that's really funny. Yeah. Okay. So then you'd probably insert yourself into groups, places where you get to know people, I'm guessing.
Networking is key.
Networking
is key in so many ways, because not only did I find clients with networking, but I also found business partners where like my accountants or what have you. And by getting to know people in the community or helping fundraise or like I also did the Showcase of Women in Business for 5 years. So I grew a trade show from 45 women entrepreneurs to 125 entrepreneurs.
Wow.
I have fingers in a lot of pies. I like getting to know people. I have a great network in Lethbridge.
Yeah. Incredible. No, that's fun. That's kind of fun digging into your brain and seeing what you would do and what you're scared of and whatnot.
It's scary. So.
Yeah. No, now just for anybody listening, when I asked her to do the podcast, she's like, yeah, if I don't want to still fear the same thing once I'm 80, I better get on this. Oh, you're fun. You're a lot of fun. Yeah. So now as far as your, for running the business, I'm guessing you're running pretty light on like software. You're saying you have an accountant that takes care of your accounting side of stuff. I'm guessing you probably have an accounting software though. Basically, that's kind of your software stack. Like, what are the things that you use?
Yeah, I use QuickBooks, so I have tried hiring bookkeepers in the past, but I do all my own bookwork, which, basically with QuickBooks Online, everything gets automatically entered. You just have to match and reconcile. So that's pretty easy peasy. I do my own payroll as well. And we use a software. It used to be called T-Sheets, but Intuit, QuickBooks just bought it, and now it's QuickBooks or QuickTime, I think it's called. And so it's an app that's on their phone, and when they get to a client, they clock in. When they leave a client, they clock out. They can upload photos. They can make notes. So let's say if they go into a client and there's been damage or someone left a door open and the plant beside the door froze, that kind of thing. They can upload all that information. And then I take that information, check it all over, and then that gets uploaded into QuickBooks Online. And then I do payroll through that. So it's, a few hours every month. And
right.
I just find it's quicker and faster for me to do all that and to assign, let's say, receipts or whatever, than trying to go through a bookkeeper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Any other types of softwares that you're using for, I'm guessing?
With any social media stuff, we have been using like Canva and things like that to make pretty posts. Mm-hmm. But besides that...
Yeah, I'm just thinking you have a business you kind of run pretty light in many ways.
Yeah.
So the types of businesses that you were asking before, and what exactly it is that I work with, what I do, and for example, just what we did recently for a window cleaning business. So she obviously gets new clients quite consistently every month, and so we do a couple different things for her. One is that we connect with her Google account. So Visno, the app, would connect with her Google account, with her Facebook, with her Instagram, with any social media accounts, and it streamlines all communications into one place. So like
Hootsuite.
Hootsuite would probably do a very similar thing. Salesforce, some other ones would probably have a similar thing.
Yeah, we do have Hootsuite.
You have Hootsuite, okay. Mm-hmm. I'm actually not too familiar with Hootsuite, so I'll have to look into that. So that's one thing that does, but another thing is that say somebody calls you and you miss a call, which is quite common for many of the small business owners, then it would automatically respond to them, texting them back, like, hey, sorry, I missed your call. How can I help? Or starting the conversation so you don't lose the customer, right? Because say I call a hairdresser or a barber, for myself, be a barber, right? I'm calling them and they don't answer, which has happened to me. I don't spend more than 5 seconds till I go look for the next one, right? Mm-hmm. So obviously I'm a customer of somebody that I really love, right? But what that basically helps them retain customers. And then with the software, there's a full CRM, which helps you completely manage your customers, do automated communications and stuff like that. So there's a lot that it can do beyond this, but that's a couple things. So Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, so that's been a fun little chat. And I appreciate you taking the time time out of your day to face this fear. And
thank you for being kind. Thank you for being kind.
Oh man, no, I appreciate it. And I'll catch up with you later.
Okay, take care.
Take care. Thank you so much.
Bye.